You're not broken. You're not defective. Why? Why do you think this way about yourself? Let's go over a possibility. Let's say you discovered a while back that you don't even know who you are. Chances are you were raised by a narcissist. You didn't need an identity because the narcissist just saw you as an extension of themselves. To them, you were them. And as a result, you may never have learned to establish boundaries. Maybe as a child you tried setting some, but you learned very quickly that they would be disregarded, and then you figured, what's the point? Or maybe as an adult, you figured out what had happened, and then you had such strong boundaries that there was no one who was going to work their way in. It could be that you will do anything to avoid conflict. You'll do anything to make sure other people are happy, and you get anxious or stressed if you can't manage that. Why? Well, if you had a narcissistic parent, you had to keep them happy. You became very sensitive to their moods, and even so, you still couldn't predict when they would fly into a raid. You may have started to pretend you were invisible. It was much easier to fly under that radar, because if you caught their attention or anyone else's and took the spotlight off the narcissist, there was always a very high price to pay. You have a very hard time saying no to anyone because it was made clear to you that your needs were not important. The one who was most loud made sure that they were always everyone's priority. And even if you were just a cute little kid doing cute little kid things, no one was supposed to praise you or even notice you. You learned your needs were really not anything that counted. If you were told that your task involved doing A, B, and C, and you came back and you were so pleased that you had accomplished it, you were then told, what the hell is the matter with you? I told you it was X, Y, Z. You grew up thinking you couldn't do anything right. And so you found yourself taking the blame for everything. It must have something to do with you because there's something wrong with you, right? You grew into adulthood and you have continued to think of yourself as a fuck-up. Because nothing you did measured up. You were always compared to everyone else and found lacking because, well, that was just sport for the narcissist. Because of the gaslighting and because of the manipulation that was meant to rob you of all self-esteem and any confidence you could manage to build up, you don't trust yourself. You don't trust that things are going to be okay either because you were never in a safe environment. You were always tippy-toeing around or walking on eggshells, trying to make sure that the narcissist was kept happy. And that was impossible, by the way. You were never going to succeed at that, but you tried and you tried. You worked your ass off trying to get noticed for having some value, some worth. And maybe for a while, if you accomplished something spectacular, you would get some praise. But as soon as you started to feel good about yourself, your knees would quickly be cut out from under you, and something would be brought up about how you were deficient. You tried so hard to be perfect, because in your mind, that was how your parent would finally be able to love you. Nothing affected the narcissist. The narcissist can never see themselves as having done anything wrong. They won't take responsibility. They will lie to you. They will betray you. And it's hard for a child to be able to process that a parent could treat them that way. So the child usually grows up thinking, no, this is just what love is. Love is pain, criticism, harsh judgment, silent treatment when I have not done what is pleasing to the parent. You grew up with so many things that were held against you that you were never even responsible for. You have major trust issues now. Because if you followed the pattern, you went from a childhood of dealing with a narcissist, to friendships and then romantic relationships that followed in the same pattern. This was your comfort zone. Of course, you would be drawn to people that treated you the same way that you were used to. And until some kind of aha moment, the light bulb going on over your head, you never realize that this isn't how all relationships were. And even when you realize maybe there was something a bit off, you're not sure how to change it because this is love. This is how love was modeled to you. Now, because of all this, there's a lot of emotions that you never let out. You just stuffed them inside. Maybe you started developing health problems, mental health problems, because you didn't acknowledge fear, rage, disappointment, grief. You just kept it all inside because that seemed safer. Oh, and let's talk about safe. When's the last time you felt safe? You may not believe you can ever feel safe. Such trust issues. You're facing a life of really being alone. You can't trust the people you thought would love you. You can't trust yourself. Maybe you can't trust the universe either. So how could you possibly feel safe? And be vulnerable with somebody? Hell no. Because if you dared to show your vulnerabilities to the narcissistic parent, oh boy, it was like giving them a gift. Oh, look, the most sensitive, hurtful little spot I could dig at. They just handed it to me. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to make the most of this. You may suffer from PTSD, CPTSD, anxiety, depression. You may rely on substances to help you cope, and you judge yourself harshly for that also. Because, sorry to say, but you were set up to hate yourself in some cases, at least to be very critical of yourself. Now, doesn't that make you angry? If it doesn't, it should. I have a workshop that Spirit helped me write up called The Freedom of Release. And if there is interest, which I'd like you to indicate in the comments if there is, I will set up a group healing session to help you release these emotions you've been carrying around for far too long. It's not hurting the narcissist.